Hello, welcome to my channel. I will be starting a series where I recreate K-pop outfit, and for the first video, I will be recreating outfits from GFriend's music video Fever. When Fever came out, it became one of my favorite GFriend songs, and the outfits were really cute too. So I tried to recreate some of the outfits in that video. Let's get started. For SinB's jacket, I tried to thrift a white jacket, but all the jackets that I was finding were either too small or they had stains on them, so I found this black coat that I'm gonna be DIYing into SinB's jacket. To start off, I'm gonna remove the pockets with the seam ripper. So I took the top one first, and I'm gonna do the other two. And I also took off the sleeves since it's a little big on me and I'm gonna have to resize it. So I'm gonna be taking in about 1.5 inches from each side. I'm using a measuring tape just to make sure I have a straight line. And then I'm gonna sew it. I'm also gonna do the same thing with the sleeve. And I'm gonna put the other sleeve on top of it, just so I could keep the markings at the same distance. Once I've sewn the sleeves, I'm just gonna cut off all the excess fabric. I'm gonna put both the sleeves in the jacket wrong side out. Later I found out that it was easier if I put the sleeve inside the jacket. I'm gonna go ahead and sew this. SinB's jacket has a slit in the middle of the back of the jacket, so I'm just gonna go ahead and replicate that with my seam ripper, and then I'm gonna sew the edges on that. Using the pockets that I previously took off from the jacket, I'm gonna make the new pockets that I'm gonna be using for this jacket. I'm gonna be sewing kind of like a rectangle but with curved corners. And then I'm gonna turn it inside out, and this is what it's supposed to look like. Then I'm gonna pin them to the jacket. The reason why I'm pinning them this way is because I'm gonna be folding them down later on. Sew them on. I'm just gonna cut the excess fabric. And this is the final result. Now for Eunha's outfit, I'm gonna be recreating this jacket that she's wearing. It's kind of like a jacket dress. This jacket had shoulder pads, so that's the first thing I'm gonna be taking care of. Using the seam ripper, I'm just gonna make a small hole where I can take off the shoulder pad and get rid of them. Since I want to be able to use fabric for the details that matches the jacket, I'm just going to be using the lining of the jacket to make the strings that are going to go on the side. So I'm just going to take the lining from the back of the jacket. Then I'm going to go ahead and attach the lining to the sleeves because I don't want them to keep falling off. Using the lining that I took off, I'm going to measure 2 inches and I'm going to cut various strings. I'm going to fold them in half and sew through them. Now I'm gonna attach a safety pin to one of the ends of the strings, and so I can flip it inside out. Since I want the strings to be really long, I'm gonna sew 2 of them together just to give that extra length. At this point, my sewing machine stopped working, so I'm just gonna continue doing the rest by hand. Do the rectangles where the strings are gonna be on the side. I also wanted it to be the same fabric as the rest of the jacket, so I am going to be cutting off some fabric from the inside of the jacket. And I'm just going to go ahead and seam these pieces only on one side. Got some eyelets for belts that I got from Michael's because those are gonna be the ones that I'm using. Right here, I'm just putting them on top just to kind of figure out how far apart I'm gonna put them, and then I'm gonna mark where they're gonna go, and I'm gonna make a small incision with my scissors, just small enough where I can fit it, because you don't want the slit to be too big, otherwise they're just gonna keep falling off. Eyelets that I got came with this applicator, so I'm just gonna do the same thing to the other ones, and you're gonna end up with 4 of these. I forgot to record this part, but I just sewed the other end of the fabric to the jacket, one in the front of the jacket and the other one in the back. And then you're just gonna put the string through the eyelets like so. The next and the last step is just to attach the buttons. I'm gonna do 3 buttons here, and I tried on the jacket first, and I marked where I wanted the buttons to be at. Side, I also mark where I'm gonna do the holes for the buttons. I decided to do the buttons on the inside because I didn't want them to show on the front. And there you have it. This is the final result.